Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Cookies and Chat. I'm Marcy.
I'm Lisa.
And our cookie for today is a red velvet cookie. So do you know where the red velvet cake was invented?
I do not.
A lot of people think it's Southern. It's not.
Oh.
Like Southern
Yeah.
red velvet? It's not. It was actually invented around World War One, and it's the Waldorf Astoria, where many famous desserts were invented, actually. Where the red velvet, do you know what makes it red?
Food coloring.
Actually, no.
Oh.
Originally, red velvet was, it's the cocoa that interacts with acidic ingredients such as baking soda and buttermilk.
Okay.
And it gives it a red hue to it. So
Oh.
that's how they started off with it, and then later versions became using beet juice or red food coloring that many people use today. There's different types of ingredients that would give cocoa different kinds of hues.
I did not know that.
So there is your knowledge for today. So today we have our red velvet cookie, and it's got some nuts in it and some chocolate chips. So it gives it a nice little red color. And in this particular case, it is with natural cocoa. We're not making them today. Perhaps sometime we will. But yes, you can use beet juice, or if you just add, as in this case, buttermilk and baking soda, it just kind of gives it that little bit of a red, and which is also good to use too for those of you who may have children or even yourself that are allergic to red dye number, whatever it is.
Right.
So
beet juice.
Yeah, so it doesn't always have to be a food coloring. Certainly can be, but certainly a way to get the joy of the red velvet. And in this case, it's made into a cookie, not a cake.
Cool. Very, very
quite
cool.
good.
I have mine too.
So there you go. So, excuse me, maybe I should have taken a bite right at that moment. So we don't know where you are listening, but probably California may be the only state that's not suffering from the cold. So we are here in Pennsylvania, and if you are sitting like us waiting for the impending snowstorm that probably will be quite significant, hope you're prepared, that you have your essentials, and just be safe and stay off the road so the city or wherever you live can do its thing on the roads. Right. Especially tomorrow and Monday. Stay safe. Yeah. So, what is how are you doing? I guess
I'm
to start
doing
off.
well.
Good.
My last day of employment will be this Friday.
Okay, and how's that? I'm sure it's filled with a lot of emotions. How you feel and everything.
I think the main emotion right now is I'm okay.
Okay, good.
I'm looking forward to what's next.
Okay, good.
Which brings us to our topic today.
Okay.
Which is interviewing and interviewing questions. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is just going online, and AI now will actually give you a list of questions that an employer may ask you. So I have like a list of those questions, and I've been trying to go through and figure out how best to answer them, and you've been very helpful. So one of the questions that I'm going to ask is, how did you get your interview? How are you you're really good at encapsulating what exactly is good to say, or being authentic and having a good way to express that for other questions for an interview.
So is the question...
Like how?
How? So how to ask questions, what specifically for our audience do you want to...
I think for where I want to start is you have a good mind space for asking the right questions, and also the way that you're answering the questions.
Okay.
So how do you get into that good headspace there?
All right. So I think number one is to go into the interview knowing what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, that's going to come across in how you answer their questions, as well as any questions you might ask. A lot of people do some preparation, and I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what people are preparing, but you definitely want to research the company.
Yeah.
So the company that you're interviewing, especially if you know nothing about that industry, that's okay. Don't be fearful in applying for places. I don't think I ever worked for an industry where I knew anything about it before I got there.
Right.
So what is it? What is it you're looking for? Are you looking for longevity? Perhaps where the company is even based in. Come in prepared to know about the company. That's also impressive if you go into someone and say, I've done some research and
Right.
You've been here a long time or it's new. So what do you know about the company? And then also, what do you want? So when you go for an interview, or when I've gone for interviews, I'm pretty clear in my head with not just what I want, but what I don't want.
Okay.
So, and look, the fact of the matter is you're never going to know 100% until you're there, but you get a feeling. So what are things that you want to know? What are things that you want to know maybe that you experienced that weren't good experiences for you in past employment? And you don't want to come in saying, I won't tolerate this or that, but there's questions to ask to get a sense. So number one, know what you want. Know what you don't want. And have those questions prepared, as well as, so it's not just what do you want, how to answer the person's questions, but what questions do you have for them?
Right.
For the person who's doing the interviewing, that's important. So I'm not sure if that really answered your question, but I think on one hand, you don't want to come in like a script because every company is different. But number one, come in with research of the company, knowing what it is you're looking for and what you're not looking for. But I will start off with a don't. Don't come in starting off with what are you offering?
Right.
Because first of all, that's going to turn people off. First of all, you should get a sense of that before you walk in the door in the first place.
Right.
So if that salary range is so significantly different and you're not willing to you know what you can live off of, why even go for the interview in the first place?
Right.
You can negotiate so much. So you want to be very careful of that. Many places these days are either having recruiters or over the phone interviews to weed these things out. If it's not mentioned, or it is like, what are you looking for?
Right.
Be fair to yourself. I'll just say this. This is my personal feeling. Unless you're going from a seat to a CEO to CEO, if you're going for a position at any level other than upper management, you might have to take a few steps backwards to move forwards. But what does that look like? And those are things that you want to ask. So don't shut the door because maybe the last company paid you 85 and this one's starting at 70. Don't necessarily shut the door if there's room for advancement. What does that look like? Also, they don't know you.
Right.
So, and I'll use myself as an example. The position that I have now, initially I was offered lower. I knew I had to take lower from where I left before, but it was that big of a difference. But I really felt I made a good impression, and I really felt that this was a good company for me. And without going too far out of bounds, I kind of negotiated in the middle, you might say, and said, listen, I really want this position. If I could get at least this. And I was able to get it. But knowing too what the coming years would look like in advancement. It's been 8 years for me, so something that worked out well for me. Come prepared with what you want to know. Come prepared with what you want to know about the company, and don't be afraid to ask for the opportunity to talk to other people that work there, right?
Right.
If someone's proud of what they do, they shouldn't mind that at all.
Right.
So,
okay.
That's just some preliminary suggestions.
All right. We actually did a little bit of practicing this morning. So one of the things that I've noticed in doing research online is, coming through and thinking from an employer standpoint of view, they want an employee, maybe they want somebody who's very adaptable. So what would those questions look like? They want somebody that shows initiative. So what would those questions look like? And frankly, now AI on the internet just makes it a lot easier. You can actually just type in interviewing questions to ask candidates, and it'll actually come up with different categories and questions that can do that. So one of the questions that came up is, what questions do you have as an interviewee for the person doing the interview? And I thought that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I had, of course, the things that I researched.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were saying, what do you really want to know?
Right. And you know, sometimes we tend to be very broad or generic in our questions, and it doesn't really give us a full answer to our question.
Right.
So, for an example, I think that you should be very careful of your wording. As I said to Lisa, you want to be careful of like the theys and the thems. I don't really care about the whole organization and how the different departments run. I care about the department that I'm going to be in and who I'm going to be reporting to. We can't make the assumption that it's a cookie cutter place. I mean,
Right.
Certainly there could be, but you want to ask the right questions. I care about the person that's interviewing me. Mm-hmm. How long have they been there? What is the retention? Don't be afraid of asking that. Why are they interviewing you? Is it for growth or replacement?
Right.
It's not a bad thing if it's replacement, but without getting too personal, I want to know why.
Right.
Have they gone through several people of the same position? We just didn't find the right people. Well, what does that say about the company and their hiring practices? I don't know. It's not always a negative. Sometimes things just don't work out. But I do want to know why you're looking for me. Right. Maybe it's a brand new position. That could be very exciting to work at something from the ground up. I want to know about the person that's on the other side of the table from me. How long have they been there? What do they appreciate about this position?
Right.
What are some challenges? What gives them a thrill to show up every day for work? I want to know these things. Is this just another day at the office kind of thing? And what is the vibe when you first are sitting in the waiting room? I went for an interview with the position I'm in, what impressed me, it was after 5:00. And what impressed me is every person that walked by me said hello. Are you being helped? And I've worked for places for years where the people I worked with didn't say hello. So this was a big deal to me. Everybody seemed genuinely happy, which I came to discover, for the most part, they really are. So, can you get a sense, the best that you can, of the environment? Are you looking for a positive work environment?
Yes.
Are you looking for people? Are you looking for camaraderie? Some people are. Some people don't care. But whatever it is you're looking for, don't be shy about asking about it. What do they do for acknowledgments? What do they do? It doesn't have to necessarily be in the form of a bonus. Right. But what do they do to recognize people?
Right.
Do they do anything to recognize people? I'm a very positive person, so I like recognition. I'm okay if you don't, but I want to make sure it's okay except when I do, right? Because I like that. I like the positive. I send people positive statements every morning and so forth. I like to keep people upbeat, and I want to make sure that that's okay. I want to know, and I've shared with you when people would ask me, so do you have any questions for us? One of my closing questions is, okay, when it's past 30, 60, 90 days, how will you know you've made the right decision?
Right. We talked about
that.
And
right. That is so telling with how that person will answer.
Right.
Are you going to get an answer? Well, if you're still here the 90 days, then we're grateful for that. Or whatever their expectations are. What does that look like? It gives you a little bit of feeling to the best that they can within that short interview time. If advancement is important to you, what does that look like?
Right.
If finances is important to you, what does that look like? For me, age has something to do with it. So benefits was number one for me.
Okay.
I was
Yep.
willing to take a little bit less with the money if the benefits outweighed that. 'Cause
Right.
I didn't want to have to put in anything. Do they have a 401k if that's what you're looking for? What is their flexibility as far as hours go if you're looking for that? What's entailed if it's overtime, holidays. I mean, be very specific in what your wants and your needs are. I happen to work for a place that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but somebody does.
Right.
So ask information. What does that do for you and your job? What is the expectation? Just so there's no surprises. And if you say, like, I just feel that people should be very honest in an interview. So I don't feel that people should go and go, oh, whatever you need of me is fine. I'm very flexible. Then all of a sudden they ask something of you, and it's like, man, I can't do that on Sundays. I can't. Then put it right out there in the beginning.
Right.
Don't be afraid. You're more likely to be hired for your honesty, right? Or at least for them to say to you, you know what? This is really what we need based on what you're saying. Like, get it
This
all
may
out on the
not be a
table
match.
right from the beginning. You know, when you go into an interview, how many people are you up against? I want to know that. How many people are you interviewing? When will you be making a decision? And how will I know?
Right.
You know, those are really the list of questions that people should make. What do you expect? What do you want to know? When you walk out of an interview, you should have most of those answers written down. And I'm the old-fashioned after an interview. If it's something that you really want that appeals to you, if it's not, this is different. But I believe in old-fashioned follow-up thank you notes.
Right.
You know, it was a pleasure meeting for you. Looking forward to working for you, making a difference for you. Something positive. You'll be remembered for that. You will.
Right. The follow-up, that's something we're going to go into in another video.
Okay.
But yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that going in with that, what do you want to know and why? What's important? What do you want to avoid? What do you want to have? I think that's incredibly important. And then also, one of the challenges that I have is I don't want to come across as really scripted, but I want to make sure that I'm giving them what they expect, but how will I know what they're expecting?
What do you mean?
Well, we were having that conversation this morning, is don't make the assumption of what do you think that they're looking for. You just have to be your authentic self and going through that interview. So so the questions, I know one question I had. I saw a lot when I was looking at interviewing questions, one of the response formats that is out there is called STAR, STAR, the situation, the task, the action that you took, and the result. Do you have any thoughts on how to use that, or if you use that
in an interview?
Yeah.
So yes and no to that. So I don't really go in to an interview with all those points necessarily in my mind to cover, because I do feel if you ask the right questions based around what's in it for me, you'll walk out with the answers to that.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So if I'm very clear that I want to know exactly what this position entails, how will I know that, knowing what their expectations are, what's in it for me? Whether it's around hours, tasks, flexibility. Do you like to work in a team as opposed to solo? Be real clear about that. I think those questions would get answered.
Okay.
Or those points, if that makes sense.
So you don't necessarily need to come in thinking, I have my S, my
Yeah.
T. All right.
Because I really think with the right questions, some of them are going to overlap, and you're going to get those answers. And frankly, if you don't get the answers to those questions, Well, number one, if you walk out the door and go, this isn't an environment be good for me, then none of it matters.
Right.
But if you walk out, it's never too late. If you walk out the door, you get in your car and you go, I'm not really sure I'm clear on this. Call them back. How much of that's a positive message,
Right.
I was just thinking, and I did have one more question I was thinking about, and I was just wondering, or you said something and I was just wanted a little bit more clarification. And if you feel that there's additional points that you didn't get addressed because you didn't think of it till you walked out, call back and ask if you care enough.
Okay. I never thought about doing that.
Sure, why not? I mean, I think we've all done it at some point. We can't go, not really sure. Or did they say, or what did that mean? And again, if you don't care enough about working for them, then it doesn't matter. But it was like, I really like that company and I really like how they presented themselves. I'm not sure I was clear on what that salary range was, or I'm not clear of what that expectation, or I'm not clear if I'm managing a team or am I working. Let me call and ask.
Okay.
Should I take this position? It was just something that occurred to me. I just wanted some clarity on.
Okay.
That says a lot about you too, that you're not afraid to speak up and ask questions. So that says a lot about that. That can add an extra point on your behalf by calling to ask, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Also, I do just want to make a quick comment about how you present yourself in the first place. Dress for the position you want, not the position you're applying for. I know sometimes people might be hearing this and going, well, isn't this obvious? No, it's not. Trust me, from someone who's interviewed people. So if you have to question if something's appropriate, the answer is then you shouldn't be wearing it. But whether it's putting on that suit, clean blouse, make sure your shoes, don't wear sneakers, even if your last position was you just wore sweats, you shouldn't be interviewed. Or even maybe the position you're applying for is, it could even be a janitor position. It doesn't matter. Dress the part. I'm telling you, it makes a difference.
Right.
Fortunate or unfortunate, the first thing we notice about people is what they look like. So be clean. Make sure your clothes are clean and nicely pressed. Your shoes are clean, well fitted.
Yep.
And just be presentable and be on time. And when I say on time, if your interview is for 1:00, be there at 12:30 or quarter of. What's the statement? If you're late. I always get it all mixed up.
If you're on time, you're late.
Something there's a statement, but anyway, don't be running. Be early, and if for some reason, heaven forbid, you are running late, traffic, life happens. Be courteous and call. Don't expect them to. Their time is precious too.
Right.
I know if you have an interview with me, I'm going to move on to the next one if you're not there. But if you call and say, I'm stuck here, or with the train, or I'm going to be about 10 minutes late, is that still okay? It's courteous. You would do it for your doctor or if you were getting your hair done. So, be courteous of other people's time.
Okay.
But present yourself in a way. Excuse me.
Well, I think that's good. And then the other question that I had about questions was the tell me about yourself. So you don't want to go on and on. But you also don't want to be just, well, this is it. This is the facts. And then that's it. So how do you get that happy medium?
So I think you should always start off with what's relevant for the position. So just a little bit about myself. You could even refer back, as I'm sure you could see on my resume. And I'm just using this as an example. I have worked in a variety of industries.
Right.
I find, and maybe just some points that stand out about you professionally. For me, I've been doing corporate training for a little over 35 years. Worked in a variety of industries. So for me, I may not know anything about the industry. And frankly, I've never known anything about the industry that I started for. Teach me the industry. I can effectively communicate it. I'm terribly sorry.
Okay.
But, just somehow, don't recite your resume to them. They have it in front of you. Don't insult the people in front of you.
Right.
But I usually start off, as you can see by my resume, I've been in a variety of industries, or maybe you were in the same position for 30 years. Just some highlights about yourself, and then I would go into, and personally, love to read. I'm a movie geek. Love to cook, and you hire me, you'll get to experience some of that. I'll throw in some lightheartedness. For me, I'll go, I know it's hard to believe, but on the side, I do stand-up comedy. Once you get to know me, you'll realize why this would be my day job. But I do that just for the fun of it. It also helps with my facilitation skills. I'm an avid reader. And I just, love nature, love outdoors. And I have twin boys that fortunately still want to be with me. And that's just a little bit about me. And sometimes, depending upon your comfort level of how the interview is going, you may even turn around and, what about you?
Okay.
What do you, that's a good way to say it. So what do you like about being here? And I'd like to know about the people that I'm going to be working with. Tell me a little bit about you. If it's not going and you have it in your mind that, oh my goodness, this isn't where I want to be.
Right.
You still could ask, but keep it light. But then that is a nice segue. And what about you?
I like that segue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the asking questions of the interviewer, I think, is very important, and probably not enough time is spent on that.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, we do spend more time at work than we do at home.
Yeah.
So you get to know things about people, and you know what your comfort level is. You want to have I want to have a little bit of joy. I want to know that this is a positive work environment. I don't care that everybody likes me. I want to be respected. But it is nice to like the people that are going to be on your immediate team. It just makes that day a little bit easier to get through sometimes. I don't need to know all the ins and outs of your life. I don't want to know the ins and outs of your life. But a commonality is nice.
Right.
If I say something like, oh, I love to cook, and someone might say in response, I don't like to cook, but I love to eat. So that'll be a good one. Okay, great. Yeah, something like that. You want to be careful that when that commonality button does go off, that you don't get so caught up in it. Oh, yeah, me too. And then next thing you know, you forget about the purpose you're here. Because even if the person that's interviewing you seems like, well, they seem very nice and that they want to know all this stuff about me, it might give a negative message that, well, how personal does this person get?
There's professional and personal, and how much are we really on the inside?
You want to be personable, not personal.
Okay. Yep. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. So thank you very much.
And we'll continue these conversations, and would love to also hear from you. Those of you who are maybe getting back into the work field and have some questions, or maybe some things that have worked for you, love to hear about it. You'll also find us on LinkedIn for any additional support you might need. Would love to help you and love to hear your thoughts.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. Stay warm. Have a good week.
All right.
Done. Good. Okay.
So it is 1:00 now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want? I can make the soup next week, and then we can actually do maybe one or two more.
Okay.
Because we'll have more time next week.
Okay.
Do you want to do that? Because I know you have to log in.
I'm not the one doing the soup one, right?
Yes, it's me doing the soup.
So you actually could while I attempt to log on.
Well, why don't we do that then? Then you start doing your thing, and I'll cook the soup.
Because once I'm logged on, then I can feel comfortable.
All right.
I always get nervous because I always have so much trouble.
Well, that is nerve-wracking.
Once I'm on.
All right. Then I'm going to do that.
I never know what I'm doing.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I'm doing.
You get yourself set up. Tell me what you need. I mean, you certainly find and take whatever you need.
Do you have any brown sugar or sugar?
I might have sugar in this color. I have some sugar powder. do you need?
Soup pot.
You can help yourself to whatever you want.
All right. I might be able to go a smaller one, but you know what? I'll use the bigger one
Okay.
just to have it.
Help yourself to whatever you need.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm just trying to get a baking sheet.
You taping yourself?
Not yet.
Oh, so underneath the oven.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Not yet. I thought I would prep first
Okay.
and then do a series of. Back.
You okay?
Yep. I do like your soap.
Oh, the cocoa
The
one?
cocoa, yes.
Yeah, it always makes everything smell so nice. Pouring my stuff.
Cool. Did you get on?
Yes, I think so.
Yay.
So I'll just have to jiggle every couple of minutes. Because technically I don't need to be on till 2, but.
Yeah, but I'm like you. I don't like to be surprised.
You know what, I don't work from home often, so
Yeah.
as the world knows, I hate it.
Right. I mean, now I don't really get the surprises, but when I first started.
Well, it's complicated because I have to do for my phone co I'm in, I have to get a into Citrix, and then Salesforce, and then my NICE system, so I can get
So
it
you
through my
have, all
phone.
of these things need to be up and running.
Right. So
Got
and
it.
now, but I still can't get my Outlook. Now it's not the end of the world, but
Right.
I'll figure it out. Like I push stuff, and it's like, oh, there it is. If I did it all the time, and everyone goes, all we got to do is, I said, because you do it more often than me.
Right. That's all you got to do. I totally get it. But
April, which isn't a bad idea. Like April says, you know what? Even when you're not working from home, like on a weekend, so you should just go in, just for the sake of doing. I said,
yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you, Marcy.
But the reality of it is you can stay. Like, how would that work? You can stay past 2. I just have to be there for support. So when my phone rings,
Yeah.
I gotta
You got to do
just
your
be
thing.
on.
All
That's
right.
that's why I hate it, because it's like I can get distracted doing this, that, and so. Wait, that's me.
Wait.
I've tried even going to, like, I'll put myself in meeting, but sometimes I go, I just have to go to the bathroom. And then, of course, put the phone, it's like, shit.
Hurry up. Hurry up. All right. So I'm going to make the video. Hang on.
So how you